Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. Today we're going to be talking about all the books I want to read in the month of July. It has been a while since I have done a TBR, so let's hop into it. The first book I'm going to be reading is Don Quixote by Cervantes. Dang, I don't know his whole entire name. Cervantes something. Oh, hello. You going to come help me with this? This is Peril. Meet the Black Pearl. Say hi. She is my 9-month-old kitten. Okay, so Don Quixote. I have picked this book up multiple times. I can't even remember how many times. I've never finished the first chapter. I found a recording from Yale on YouTube where the professor broke down the chapters, went over everything. I'm super excited to be reading Don Quixote because I listened to the first lecture and I was like, oh, this is going to give me all the context I need to understand this. I'm very excited about that. It's probably going to take me a long time. The class on YouTube is a 12, like if you do it the way I think you're supposed to, it's a 12-week class, a semester. And I don't think, unless it's the only book I read for the next 12 weeks, this is not going to be finished in 12 weeks. So we're starting Don Quixote this month. But we're probably, I don't think there's any way we're going to be finishing it. But we're starting it. Oh, we're going to eat my hair now? Thanks, I love it. Okay. You ready to get down? All done? You're done talking about books? Okay. Go play. Here we go. Alright. Oh my goodness, it's just cat central around here. Say hello to Crookshanks. Say hi, Crookshanks. Say, I'm a very big scaredy cat. Very big scaredy cat. Alright, now that both my cats have made an appearance, were you gonna let me film now? Now that I've given you some love? Probably not. They're just like having kids. Alright, down we go. Go play with each other. We adopted 2 cats in the span of the last 5 months. The next book that I want to physically read and hopefully finish in the month of July is Artemis by Andy Weir. This book follows Jazz, who is a smuggler, and she is going to help smuggle something for somebody who's trying to help overthrow the government on Mars. But then things go terribly awry and she actually needs to fix the government, as far as I can tell. I'm about 70 pages into this. Please ignore my cat using her scratching post. I'm about 70 pages into this, and so far it's kind of been a compilation of Star Wars mixed with Mistborn. So we have a very Vin-like character who's a little more sassy than Vin, and she is involved in a crime lord-esque situation going on. She's very technical, very engineering, but very poor. So I'm liking it. There are a lot of cursey words, as a heads up. But I'm liking it so far. I don't like it as much as I liked Project Hail Mary, and I haven't read The Martian yet, so I don't know where I can. I'm only 70 pages in, so hopefully that'll be finished in the next 2 weeks. After that, I would like to read either The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks or Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. And the options between these two will kind of come down to the mood I'm in. Every summer, I love reading The Last Song. I haven't done it for the last 2 summers, but I really love the idea of reading a romance during summer, but in practicality it just about never happens. So we're gonna kind of just leave that slot open and decide, like, am I feeling the need for something more gritty and dark and fantasy based, which I've heard is what Shadow and Bone is about, or am I gonna read something that's like light and fluffy that I've already read? And I'm not going to know until I finish Artemis and kind of decide what else I'm going to be working on at that point. I really do want to read Shadow and Bone, but I think I'm going to need to be in the right mood for that. And if I need something light and fluffy, that's not going to be the time. And the last book I want to read is more of a genre book that I want to read. I have an entire shelf full of thrillers that I've just picked up from thrift stores or from free little libraries, and I have kind of just been letting them sit there. They're like, I go through times where I go through thriller novels like they're candy and I just inhale them, and then I go through other periods where I'm like, hey, not really in the mood. But I am in the mood right now, and I've picked up a ton of books by David Baldachi, and I tried The Camel Club, put it down because I was bored, but I still have a bunch of other books by him, so I'm going to try another book. And I'm not sure which one that is. The Innocent, maybe, or Gosh, I can't even remember what the other ones are. But that one is the one that intrigues me the most. So The Innocent. And we'll see if I can pick it up, if I find it interesting. If not, if I can't get into this one, I might just give away all of those books because I just don't know that I find him interesting as a writer, which, like, that's nothing against him and everything against me being like, I've already read this and a bunch of other thriller novels. And maybe part of the problem too is that I have now read enough thriller novels that it's not new anymore and it's kind of just the same thing on repeat. And so maybe that just means I need to take a break from thrillers. So we'll explore that in this month. All right, next we have audiobooks. And I usually have a category for audiobooks and books that I'll be physically reading and tag teaming both of them. But I don't really know that I have anything that fills that slot this time, so we're just gonna skip and move on to the audiobook section. So this month I'm working a lot on Peril by Bob Woodward. I'm about 27% of the way through. This is a solid fourth. I'm listening to this. I'm really enjoying it. I love Bob Woodward. I love his reporting style. This is the last book in his like Trump trilogy, I guess you could say. So this is covering the do we call it a riot? Do we call it an insurrection? I don't know what the historical term is. Technically, the attempted coup, I don't know, of the US government. So this fills my need for a kind of really dense, historical, very factual-based book that I'm reading. And I think I'll finish this before the end of July. Nobody has this on hold. It's just me reading this. And then when the hold expires, then I just renew it again. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just gonna take it slow because that's what I'm enjoying. I think there'll also be space to read something really light and fluffy, and I don't know what that is yet. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be a reread like Strange the Dreamer or Avalon High. I'm gonna be really picky about the audiobook that I pick up though. I feel like I've gone through quite a few audiobooks recently that have been duds and I feel like they were a waste of my time, and so I want something that I know I'm gonna enjoy, that I'm gonna love, and that's not gonna waste my time, and I don't really know what that is yet. I feel like, I don't know, I've been searching the interwebs and I've been searching all my reading lists that I've created, and I haven't really found anything that I've been like, this is it, this is what I want to read. So when that catches my attention, hopefully this month, that's what I will pick up and read. And the last two options are Martin Chuzzlewitz by Charles Dickens and Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. Both of these books I need to read for readathons. I'm super late on the Bronte readathon. I finished Jane Eyre and then never picked anything else back up. So we're slowly making our way through, and I'm gonna just watch all the videos slowly behind, which is fine. And then Martin Chuzzlewit is for the Dickens versus Tolstoy readathon. I learned last month reading The Old Curiosity Shop that while it is technically easier to listen to the audiobook, I get a lot less out of it when I'm just listening to it as opposed to reading it and then digesting it and being able to see it happen on the page. When I'm listening to it, I get distracted. I'm never just listening to an audiobook, I'm always doing something else. And with classic literature, that's very hard and very difficult. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna try and just physically read them, which means it's gonna be slow. I technically have the audiobooks checked out, but if I'm going to use them, it's gonna be when I am only listening to the audiobook or doing something that is not watching kids or doing chores, something like maybe coloring, or like playing with my cats, petting them, something where like almost all of my focus is on listening to the audiobook. But for the most part, I plan to read these. I am probably 50 pages into Agnes Grey, and I'm really liking it. I like Anne Bronte's writing style. It feels very similar to Charlotte Bronte, who wrote Jane Eyre. I don't know that I have a preference one way or the other, but I haven't finished the book yet either. So, and then Charles Dickens, I'm imagining that Martin Chuzzlewit is just gonna be a drag and a drudge the whole way through. This book, I believe, is the book that almost bankrupted him, so I'm not guessing that this plot is gonna be super stellar and thriller. And all these people that say that Charles Dickens is their favorite author, I don't know, because I loved Christmas Carol so much. And everything since then has just been a slow, like it always, no, I don't even think it starts with a lot of high potential. It just kind of goes down, and I don't like it. But part of that could be the experience that I'm giving myself by listening to it and not fully reading it. Part of that could just be that I actually don't like him as much as I really think I should like him. And it might just be that I don't like his earlier works, but I do like his later works. So, I don't know. I don't know that I plan on starting Martin Chuzzlewit, but I do have it checked out from the library because I didn't want to buy a copy because I just don't have great hopes for my enjoyment level of this. I also have A Court of Mist and Fury on hold at the library, and it's come in multiple times and I've always pushed it aside because I'm not in the mood. I don't know. It ended on a romance that could go two different ways, and it was a triangle romance, and I don't know. I don't know that I want that. But here we are, and I do want to finish or at least continue the series because everybody raves about it and everybody says the second book is better. And I don't know that I trust that, but I want to see if I do trust it. So there's the possibility that I would check out that audiobook and read it because I loved the first book. I stayed up super late reading it, which doesn't happen very often for me with books anymore. So I feel like there's the potential, but I also, there's a lot of emotional grief going on there that we don't need to dissect and get into. That's all I got. Bye!